Welcome to this week's Rebel Run Sports Show.
Shot here on location at Woodson High School.
Simon Bullock,
Kyle Hamrock,
Matt Fruchter, Alan Anderson, Brian Pierce, Leeds Burlock,
Brian Hennessy,
Cody Mans, Jason Agner, Sean Nickel, Luke Chalikian, Mitchell Clark, Matthew Erbach, Will Captain,
David Promisel, and we are WT Woodson, we're Virginia 6A state champions.
Yeah!
Thanks to WT Woodson for the intro. Welcome to the Rebel Run Sports Show this week. I'm John Moore, joined as always by Rob Giampapa. It's over.
The home of the world famous Cavalry.
That's right.
You know what? We're going to talk about them in the game later, but
Yeah.
one thing I will say is there was a guy that worked at VCU last night who, as they were leaving, he was like, man, I wouldn't want to be the bus driver for those guys going home. He's like, I've never seen anything like that.
Oh, that's great. Well, this is the last basketball, results show we'll be doing. We'll come back and we'll do some stuff on individual player awards that we're going to do. But, man, what a year. A lot of congratulations to go around.
Absolutely.
We're going to start, before we get into the hometown venue team, Loudoun Valley High School and Coach Chad Dawson. They had a tough loss at the end of an undefeated season last year.
Yeah.
They bounced back this year. They played Jamestown, who was 25-2.
Not bad.
In the championship game, and they win 80-48.
I thought it was a misprint.
It was not.
Because I was following them on Twitter, going back and forth. First of all, 4A, move the games closer to me. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Move the games
What
closer
are they
to
doing?
me. I was following that game back and forth. Man, I couldn't believe they rolled like that in that game. That group is just
Amazing. Yeah. Jordan
great.
Miller, 26 points.
Of course he did.
Man, he's a stud. Dominic Peterson had 14. Nick Ball had 19 in his final game down there. So, man, they were a fun group to watch. And,
Absolutely.
And they deserve to win that state championship. The last 3 years they've put together have been
It's crazy.
insane.
Crazy. It's almost unfair that they play in 4A.
It is.
It's almost unfair.
It is.
I'm going to tell you right now, if they played in 5A, very possible they would have come out on top.
They may have.
If they played in 6A, it would have been
It's been a good game.
A lot of schools don't want to see them in 5 or 6A. They will say that.
How cool would it be to see their student section versus this student section?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It would be awesome.
We need to set that up.
We should set that up.
So,
Well, let's get to the 6A game. So we'll start with the Oakton girls. They had a tough task. We saw Colonial Forge in the semis, and man, Shakira Austin is great, but she's not the only great on that basketball team. So why don't you take us through that game?
let me tell you, when I saw them in the quarterfinals, they played Battlefield, I think, I was like, well, I mean, yeah, they're long, they're big, they're probably the tallest girls team I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But I was like, they're not playing particularly well. I'm an idiot. They're probably the best girls basketball team, high school team I've seen in a long time. They have length. They challenge everything just because they're so long.
Yeah.
They have a solid point guard, but when you have two players like Shakira Austin and Camille Downs,
Yeah.
it's impossible to stop.
Camille Downs set the tone for the game.
You could say that. You could say she set the tone. What do you mean set the tone? By outscoring everyone for a good stretch of that game? I mean,
Yeah.
she have the first 11 or something like that in that
14
game?
points of the game.
It got to the point where I thought that they were saying the wrong name of the team because they just kept saying her name over and over. And I was like, are they trying to say Colonial Forge, but they just keep saying Camille Downs?
Right.
What's wrong with them? She's like, there was... I don't care who you put out there, they couldn't have guarded her in the first half of that game.
Well, it was 14-10 at the end of one, and then it was 25-20, so it was still a game at halftime. But it seemed like they just they were just a little better.
Oakton, it was hard for them to score. They put you, because of their length, Colonial Forge put you in a lot of bad positions. They put you in a lot of awkward situations because you don't want to take the ball inside. After the first couple blocks, you don't
Right.
want to take the ball inside. So you're kind of pulling up for shots or rushing shots because you don't want those arms to get in front of you.
Right.
So there was a lot of rush shots in that game by Oakton. I mean, look, my affinity for the Oakton girls basketball
Sure.
team is well documented, but it was a tough stretch for them. It was a tough way they couldn't score on those. I mean, on those post players, they're just so long.
Right.
And it became evident real
Well,
quick.
Shakira Austin, who's Maryland committed, yet only a junior this year, she finished with 12 points and 12 rebounds. Camille Downs, who you spoke of,
She's ridiculous.
21 points, 9 rebounds. So
I think she had 4 assists and 2 blocks in that game.
yeah,
also.
she did fill up the stat sheets.
It was she was the best player on the planet for the stretch of
Right.
that game. Like, I don't even know how else to say it.
Yeah,
she was great.
not to be overlooked. Delaney Conley, she finished with 17 points in the game and 9 rebounds.
She's great.
So, and then Maddie Royal, it was fun covering her the last couple years.
That senior group of Maddie Royal, Delaney Conley, Kaylin Fee is they'll always hold a special Rebel Run spot. They're
sure.
They're a terrific team. They've been great over the last couple of years, and that senior group, I mean, they came up just short 2 years in a row.
Right.
All praise due to Oakton, and then they ran up against a buzzsaw. I don't even know how else to
Coach
say it.
Priesters, he's going to be okay next season.
Coach Priest's always okay.
Yeah.
Watch out. I think there's a girl coming into Oakton. I'm pretty sure her name is Bella, but I've been told, watch out. She's
Watch
gonna
out?
Be great. Yeah.
All right. I'll be looking forward to watching American University basketball next season.
Absolutely. But you know what else? We don't cover much of the Fredericksburg area. We don't cover really any of the
Yeah.
Fredericksburg area. I'm going to watch Colonial Forge next year.
I think I will too.
I'm going
I think
to
I will
watch
too.
them play.
Shakira Austin, follow us on Twitter. I already
Man.
followed you.
She's great.
But 52-38 final there. So that was the 6A girls state championship final. Now the boys, I don't want to tip my hat on who won the game, but I think we're sitting in their gym right now.
A little bit of a giveaway.
Big giveaway.
It was, let me tell you something. There was parts of that game where I was like, man, we're scheduled to shoot at Woodson. Man, it was just looking rough at different
Right.
points. It starts out, they go up 16-10. They looked like they were in complete control.
Yep.
We talked a little bit before we started here. That 16-10 lead looked more. You know what I mean? Like it looked
Right.
like a bigger lead because they were playing so well at that point. Hilton just kind of kept keeping themselves in the game. Just they were hitting timely shots to keep themselves in the game early. And Dwayne Hill is a monster.
Yeah.
Dwayne Hill's a monster.
Yeah.
But Hilton comes back. Simon Mula was kind of running things early in that game. He had them up 23-13 at one point, I believe. Midway through the second, they looked like they were just too much for Hilton to handle. And then back to back, Joshua Jones and Marcus Stevens, I told you, young buckets. Man.
Yeah.
They both come down and hit and ones back to back. Like go to the basket, get fouled on 2 shots. Really put that game at 24-23, and you're like, okay, this is how Hilton really wants to get to the basket.
Yeah.
Get them get Woodson into foul trouble.
Hilton was up 26-24 at the half.
Well, they took their first lead at 25-24.
Yeah.
I think there was another and one that put them at the 25-24.
Right.
They did 26-24 to go up 26-24 at halftime. It was, can I say 26-24 any more times? Like, that was really weird.
One more time. It was 26-24 at the half.
Yeah, that was weird. Second half opens up. Pretty even back and forth in that third quarter.
Yeah.
There's a 2-point lead that Hilton has going into the fourth quarter, and I thought they did something. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a coach coaching in the state finals, but I thought they kind of held the ball longer on possessions than they had earlier in the game, and I thought it kind of turned the tide a little bit because Woodson is a shot away at any point. You know what I mean? Those guys, they can shoot, they can get to the basket. They're a shot away at any point. And I just thought trying to go and slow the clock down with 8 minutes in the fourth, to go in the fourth quarter. I mean, you did it from the start. I just didn't like that. I thought they should have ran their offense the way they had been and been getting their buckets.
Right.
But I think that really kind of turned the tide a little bit. They had a 1-minute possession to start the fourth.
You know how I feel about that.
And I talked to you about it after the game last night. Yeah, they had a 1 minute possession to start the fourth and missed the shot, get the ball back.
Right.
They had another long possession. I just thought,
Yeah.
you know. But it went
Why
back and
hold the
forth.
ball?
You know, I'm not going to question anybody, but I'm just saying.
I am.
To
If
me,
you can't do it in 30 seconds, you're doing something wrong.
can't do it in 30 seconds. Don't do it at all.
That's right.
I thought it kind of changed things a little bit there in the fourth quarter, but goes back and forth. I mean, tied up 46-46.
Yep.
1.7 left. Dwayne Hill takes a shot like literally in and out. Like could have ended the game right there, and that place would have lost it.
Yeah.
Goes in and out. The overtime, Woodson just took over.
Yeah.
They missed some foul shots that I thought were odd, but
Yeah.
they took
I
over.
mean, that's all nerves at that point.
Yeah.
It's all nerves.
But man, the cavalry, it was like the entire school was there.
We
I
could
don't
do
know
a
how
whole
many
show
buses-
on them.
I'm
We
tell-
need to do a show where they come down.
I don't know how many buses there were.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, they bring a bus of those people down? I was like, a bus? Noah from Jumpin' Production. Noah,
Oh,
like,
really?
they bring a bus? I was like, a bus? All those people are going to fit on a bus? You better have brought 6 of them down with you. They had the place packed. It was a home game for Woodson.
That's awesome.
Of course it was.
That's awesome.
But, hey, they go on to win 50-46 in the overtime. Great job by Hilton all year.
Right.
To get to that spot, I don't think anybody saw him getting
No,
there.
congratulations to Hilton.
Absolutely.
They flew under the radar a lot of the year. We didn't hear much about them until
Yeah.
playoffs, and they definitely made their mark on the tournament. But
Well, we had a chance earlier today to sit down
we did.
with Jason Agner or Agner. He said
Agner,
you can go
Agner.
either way.
Potato, potato.
Simon Muller
Yep.
and your guy.
And the coach.
Check it out. All right, guys. Fresh off the state title, take us through that game last night. I mean, obviously, not the game that you anticipated, I'm sure, going into overtime, but take us through the game a little bit.
You know, obviously we knew coming into the week Hilton was a great team. They're in the state championship for a reason. We knew DJ Hill was a fantastic player. Marcus Stevens could really shoot the ball. We knew they had a lot of talented guards who could get to the bucket. We knew we were going to have to play well, and they played excellent. They played a fantastic game down the stretch. We were able to make a couple plays, get a couple rolls.
It was just a tough game overall. Like, we came out strong, and then we knew they were going to make a run, so we just had to be resilient, just keep punching back.
Talk about your overall emotions. It's, you know, your senior year, you won state championship. That's the dream. You know, what's next?
For me, I haven't even thought ahead about what's next. I've just kind of been in shock. Like, is this real? Like, it still feels like a dream to me.
Yeah, like, I still can't believe it, honestly, but I'm really happy. Like, this is the only way I want to go out, so it's great that it happened.
Well, now be honest with me. From the beginning of the season, did you think that this was a possibility, making that run to the state title?
We thought we had a good team at the beginning of the season, and we thought if we were tough and played the defense, we could have a chance. Not many people believed us in the beginning of the season. I think one poll listed their top 25 teams in Northern Virginia, and then the lurking teams, and we weren't even lurking on that poll. And we kind of took that to heart, and that was just kind of our motto all season, prove everybody wrong.
Simon, it seemed like as the season went along, a lot of teams start putting more pressure on you guys bringing the ball up the court. As the primary ball handler, how frustrating did that get as the season went on?
It's definitely tough, but playing with Jason and Matt, it's easy because they can dribble the ball too, so I just give it to them if I get too tired.
Simon, last night you had the ball in your hand as the clock wound down right there. What was it like throwing that ball in the air when you got the win?
It was just it felt great because all my hard work finally paid off and all my teammates' hard work paid off. It just felt like a huge relief, honestly.
All right. So, in that game, you guys looked like you were in complete control, and then Hilton kind of came back a little bit, and they took the lead at halftime. What was the locker room like? What were the conversations like at halftime of that game?
We've been in that position before, obviously, playing against tough teams like West Potomac, Madison. We knew they were a good team, and good teams are going to make runs. So we came into the locker room with almost a calm sense, we've been here before, we're only down 2. They're a good team, they're going to make a run. They just happen to make it right before the end of the half. We'll be fine, we're just going to go out and play our game.
All right, let's talk about the Agner line. So you shoot these shots from the volleyball court line back here. Is that something you practice, or Is that like a heat check during the game?
For me, it's just always been like in the heat of the moment, like I'm just open and I see the basket.
Well,
And
you're always open from the volleyball line.
Yeah, nobody's guarding you back there. What are you talking about?
I mean, if they're not going to guard me and put a hand up, might as well shoot it.
All right. Well, guys, the cavalry was out there last night. I don't know how many buses they took to get down there, but it seemed like 1,000 of them. What was it like having that support on the road in Richmond going for the state title?
Yeah, definitely. The Cavalry is the best student section in the state. You won't find much better than them. We don't have many true road games with Cavalry because we always have such strong student support, and you can't hate them. I mean, unless you're playing against them.
Right.
Yes, it's great playing for the Cavalry, honestly. They're the best student section in the state, and they just give you energy to feed off, so it makes it easier on us.
What was the bus ride home like last night?
Oh, it was amazing. We had the speakers in the back playing "We Are the Champions." Congratulations.
The
Just
song never gets old.
any type of song we could. We were just in the back having a good old time.
What was Coach like on the bus ride home?
He was happy for once. Might be the first time I've seen him smile in about a month and a half. And he wasn't overly sarcastic as usual, so that was surprising.
Were there any great coach moments during the game? He's not paying attention right now, so we can talk about it.
During yesterday's game?
Yeah.
He was pretty calm, actually.
Yeah.
Like, that was the calmest I've seen him in game, so.
Yeah,
I
it
don't know,
really
it's
was.
pretty-
He didn't have any major like meltdowns. There wasn't any major foot stomping.
Yeah, he usually stomps his foot a lot, so.
The foot stomping is the worst.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Well, guys, it was great to see. Congratulations. I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was great covering you guys this year. We had a lot of fun with it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Jason Agner or Egner, he's not sure either. Simon Mula, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, Coach. Not much sleep last night, fresh off the state title win. I'm sure it probably got to your nerves a little bit, the OT, but tell us about that game. Take us through it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, sixth overtime game of the year. We tend to not want to make things easy on ourselves. We're kind of that group. We like to make it dramatic, I guess. I even turned to my assistant coaches, and when Jason was getting ready to shoot the technical free throws, I said, he'll probably miss both of these just to spite us. But no, yeah, it's just kind of the way we've been, particularly the last month or so of the season. We've played just a lot of tight games. I think when you're playing other really good teams, they make you work for everything, and Patriot Conference is, prepares you well for these kind of situations. In fact, that was the first thing I said to him last night. We go to overtime. I said, well, we've been here before, so we knew what we had to do and find a way to win the game. And happy for our kids. They certainly worked really hard for it.
Coach, 50 plus years of W.T. Woodson basketball, first state championship. On a personal level, how does that make you feel? How gratifying is it for you to be the coach that led this program to its first state championship?
Yeah, it's not so much about me. We really try to make it about the kids here. It's really about them. They did all the work. All we did was just, stand on the sideline and try to put them in a position to do it. I think the most gratifying thing for me, to see our student section full, with, 700-800 kids or whatever it was. Yeah. To see our community, a lot of our former, parents of players, a lot of people have been supporting us a long time. We had a ton of former players there last night. A lot of guys who graduated 4, 5, 6 years ago in the house. I had a former manager from 2007 that lives in Richmond, texted me the day before, wanted to come to the game. What time's the game? Where do I get tickets? Yeah. So I think, that's what high school sports is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a way to bond the community to the school and to bond the student body together. And I think that's what it's supposed to be when you're doing it the right way. That's what high school sports is supposed to be about. Everybody talks about, getting college players and this and that. But that's not what high school sports is supposed to be about the community and the school being one. And I think that was the most rewarding thing for me after all this time, all these people have supported us. For them all to share it together, I think was really important.
Well, since you brought it up, I've talked to Coach Doc about this before. The community at Woodson is different from a lot of places you go. The support from the student base and the community is incredible here. Just talk about that a little bit, not even just last night, but as a whole.
It's always been that way. I've been here 17 years now, 12 years as the head coach. I was here as an assistant for 5 years. And that's one of the things. It's just if you come here on a Friday night for basketball, the place is going to be packed. You come here Friday night at football, it's hard to pack our football stadium. It's a big place, but you're always going to have a huge student section there. It doesn't seem to matter what the records are, or if the team's winning or losing or whatever. It's just kind of one of those places. It's a bit of a throwback in a lot of ways. I think in this area, there's professional teams, there's major college teams, there's a lot of other things to compete with. And I think you go to some other places and maybe they don't get that kind of community support. It's not been the case here at Woodson. And I think that's one of the reasons I think kids want to be involved in our athletic program. I think we have a huge number of kids in the building just involved in athletics in whatever sport it is. And I think that's one of the reasons why, because it is fun to play here. To come here and play in front of a packed house on a Friday night against TC Williams or whomever. The kids, they like that. That's fun for them. And I think that's always been one of the underrated things about Woodson. I think people now, we've gotten out on the state level, around the state, have now seen our Cavalry, and they're like, wow, what do you guys do? We don't. It's not us. It's the community. That's just how they are, and they've always been that way. It's just now people are starting to realize it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
They say hindsight's 20/20. When you look back now at the beginning of the season, did you think this was a special group?
Yeah, you get asked by some media outlets throughout the year, how you guys going to be. I told people at 4 seasons I liked my team. I guess that's my code for I think we have a chance to be pretty good. But I don't know if you can really ever predict something like this. I mean, we've had some teams arguably maybe better than this team or, not as good as this team. You get to the regional quarterfinals and semifinals and finals level, the state level, the margin for error between these teams is so small. I mean, I don't know if we're significantly better this year than we were 3-4 years ago. We lost in the state semifinals. Yesterday their shot crawled off the rim at the end. A couple of our free throws crawled in. And that's the difference between winning and losing these games. It's not that Team A is a million times better than Team B. Everybody's good. It's just sometimes the shot goes down where, a few times in the past it's not gone down for us, or the other team's shot went in. Right. The other team made a big three. I mean, we played Henrico in the state semifinals in 2013, and they came out and shot 9 for 11 from three. I mean, they shot 30% on the year, and they were, 80% in that game. It's hard to win when that happens. It just happens, and it wasn't that we did everything we wanted to do in that game. We out-rebounded them. We had more assists, had more block shots, more steals. They made 9 and 11 from three, and we lost. So, I mean, I think we thought we had a chance to have a pretty good team. I don't think you can ever predict a state title. We just always kind of go with the same mindset. We want to put ourselves in positions to play big games in February and March. And if we do that, then we're doing something right. If you get the bounces, you make all the plays. Sometimes you win those big games. Sometimes you don't win those big games. But you want to put yourself in position to play those games. And I think if you do that, that's the mark of a consistent program, which is what we try to be.
Okay. Well, going back to the game last night, you guys are up 16-10 after the first quarter. Hilton makes a run. They go on a 16-8 run, close out the second half or the second quarter. They take their first lead of the game. What were your conversations like with your assistants and things like that?
I was kind of annoyed at myself. I took Jason out in the second quarter to give him like a minute of rest, and he had just hit 2 threes in a row. I had sent somebody to the table for him, and he went and made 2 threes while the guy was sitting at the table. So I felt like I broke up our run. No, I mean, we were playing well at halftime. We were down 2, but I thought we were playing well. We missed some shots around the basket, that normally we make. We missed some free throws, but I felt like we controlled the tempo of the game for the most part. We kind of got the game at the tempo we wanted to have it. We weren't turning the ball over a lot. This year, that was the one thing. When we were struggling, we would turn the ball over. We weren't really having that problem. We were taking care of the ball. We were getting shots at the basket. We just weren't finishing the shots. And, that's all you can do. I mean, we out-rebounded in the first half. We had more assists, more steals. All the numbers look good in our favor, other than we just didn't shoot it real well. But, it's a big stage. I think some kids were a little tight. Yeah. And that's normal. I mean, I think, guys aren't going to miss 2 or 3. When there was one possession, I think we missed 3 layups in a row. Yeah. It just doesn't happen normal, but it's the state final. It's normal for the kids to be tight. So we just wanted to kind of be calm and just go through what we normally do in our half-time routine. We tried to keep everything yesterday as normal as we could possibly keep it for the kids, and project calmness, because I think their minds and hearts were probably going a mile a minute, as ours were, but we try to project that calmness for them. So it was nothing special done at halftime. we knew we were playing well. We just had to finish the game.
I heard you telling some of the guys, you're scheduling when uniform turning. How different is this end of the season now? I mean, you're probably used to, if you don't win the state championship, there's some sort of conversation about how things didn't end the way you wanted them to, and now they did.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a little bit of disappointment at the end when you don't win your last game, because you put a lot of effort into this year round and you want to win. I think the only disappointment for me is that we just don't get to be a team anymore, because this group was really fun to be around. They genuinely like each other. And sometimes that doesn't happen. It doesn't mean the other teams aren't good kids or anything like that. Just sometimes the chemistry is not right. This team, from the beginning of the year, they genuinely like being around each other. They like playing together. We played a game earlier this season back in December on a Thursday down at St. John's down in D.C. We got hammered. They were really good. And it was like a 3-hour bus ride there and like an hour and a half back because the traffic was miserable on a Thursday night. And because we didn't play till the following Tuesday, we gave them Friday off. We told them it was an optional shoot around if they wanted to come in. Coaches, we would be there, but if they didn't want to come in, that was okay. I think 13 out of 15 guys showed up and they wanted to play pickup. Like, that's just how this group was. They just liked being together. And that's the most disappointing thing for me about the whole thing is we just don't get to be a team anymore. But yeah, it's a little different. There's no somber speech in the locker room after the last game, which is a little different. But we'll have a little time to reflect on this now over the next couple weeks and kind of wrap things up. But we'll enjoy this for a little while, and then the underclassmen that are coming back, we'll try to figure out a way to defend it, I guess, and get ready for next year.
Well, since you went there, let's say, what's the off season like for you? How much time do you get to enjoy the win before you have to start?
Yeah, it's funny. The guys, I have 2 guys going to AAU practice today. I mean, they don't. Yeah, it doesn't really stop for them. I think as coaches, we'll take a few weeks now. We'll have our end of the year. We'll collect uniforms, and we'll have individual meetings with our kids on the way out over the next week or 2, and then we'll give them a couple weeks off. Probably bring them back after spring break. Mid-April. Get them in the gym for some open gym time. Let them just play. Get them in the weight room a little bit. And then we'll start getting into it in June with summer leagues and team camp and stuff like that. I know a lot of coaches like to go year round now, and I think that has its merits. I also think sometimes the kids need to get away from the same voice, and I think sometimes the coaches need to get away from the kids a little bit and take that break, because it's intense when you play this late and this long. I mean, we've been practicing since November the 9th, I think, and that's a long time. I mean, that's 4 months. Spending 2.5 hours with the kids every day. They probably get sick of me. I've only got about 5 speeches, so they've heard them all 6 or 7 times now. So we're going to take a little break here for a few weeks, just like we normally would. I mean, it's not anything different than we've always done. We probably don't go as year-round as some of the programs do. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just kind of how we do things. But our kids will be playing basketball. We have basketball players. They've already starting with their AU practices tomorrow or this week, and they'll keep playing. But I think we'll take a little break from each other and for a few weeks, and then we'll get back to it and start slowly winding it back up, and we start picking it up in the summertime.
Cool. Excellent. All right, congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, we had a ball covering you guys this year, so we'd love to sit down with you in the off season and kind of talk about next year's team. And
anytime. Can't thank you guys enough in an era where kind of covering high school sports is kind of dying out. It seems it's nice to have an outlet that does it. Really happy for our kids. I think appreciate you guys coming by and doing this here. And maybe we get you out one day when the Cavalry's here next year.
Absolutely.
Have a little fun. But thank you guys for covering us this year. It's a pleasure to coach these guys and talk to you all. And looking forward to doing it again, hopefully down the road.
definitely. Congratulations.
Thanks. Thank you.
Try to get some sleep today.
Yeah,
That's probably not happening.
It's awesome.
it's awesome.
They're great.
Congratulations again, Coach Doug Craig. He's very modest.
He is. But
If I won the first state championship in school history in 55 years of a school, I'd be already writing my own name on the courts.
if you won a game in the first year, it wouldn't even have to be states. Are you kidding me?
It would have
We'd
to
never
be.
hear the end of
It
it.
wouldn't have to be at all.
No, we would never hear the end of it. Let me just, hey, also, between the 3 of them that you just saw,
Yeah,
how many hours you think of sleep there was between the 3 of them?
none.
I'm guessing
None.
if you could put the over under at 2.
You know what they should do here? They need a banner-sized picture of the Cavalry from this year. That was amazing.
That is crazy.
I've never seen a high school crowd travel for a team like they did this year.
No, they're the best. Like I said, people at VCU were like,
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that.
Sorry, Madison. This is not fake news.
No, that's definitely not fake news. The Cavalry's the best.
Yeah.
The Cavalry's the best.
Well, this is great. We're about to get into lacrosse season, so
Of course we will. We'll be
Yeah.
right back here. Hey,
every week.
girls played in the state title last year.
That's right. Get out there and see these Robinson kids. Four-time defending.
Boys back to back to back, girls back to back.
Pretty good.
I'm sure we'll be at Robinson quite a bit.
I'm
this
pretty sure we will be. Well, Prince William Channel 2, Prince William County, Channel 2 Verizon, Reston 28.
Why does it get
I don't know, I
your
should have this all figured out. Verizon Channel 28 in Herndon, and Cox Channel 28 in Herndon. RubberRunSports.com. Rob G and Papa.
You should better check the local listings. I don't know what he
Check
just
your
said
local
there.
listings.
I don't know what he just said.
John Moore. Woodson. Awesome. See you next week.